Hey everyone, Tech Steve here. Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I have a unique setup here because I want to show you something that's going to really help out a lot of people out there on the market. Today we're going to look at this OREI BK-402A, which is an HDMI matrix with audio extraction. What this adapter is going to do is allow you to hook up 4 different devices and you can run it over to 2 TVs and mirror the image. You probably ask yourself, who is this for and what does it do? So in this video, I'm going to explain exactly that. Now here's the scenario. We have a PS5 with 4K 120Hz output. I have an Apple TV down here. Here I have the audio extractor and you see all the cables connected. Over here I have a Roku, and on this side we have an Xbox Series X. The OREI BK-402A has a lot of benefits. For example, not only that you can switch to your different devices, but additional to that, it will allow you to have eARC output. You also get a 3.5 millimeter output and a fiber optic output, so you can run it over to your own speakers, which is a plus. Now we'll take a look at the back of it in just a minute, but on the front of it, you have a sensor, and that sensor is used for this remote control, so you can switch through the different inputs remotely. For example, for TV 1, you can choose any of these sources. On TV 2, you can choose any sources. Besides the remote control, we do have a power indicator. This will show you what source is going over to TV 1. This will show you all the sources going over to TV 2. And if you use eARC, there's an indicator. And again, you can use that for your soundbar. Over here, we can select the different inputs. And I'll show you the back of it a little bit later on in the video. But now let's do some different scenarios. To give you an example, right here I have the PS5 on this television, but I hit input 4. Now I have the Xbox on this TV. If I want to go back to the PlayStation, I can take number 1, which I have the PlayStation plugged into, hit the controller. Once it blinks, as you can see, now the PS5 is on both TVs and it will register HDR as well. Let's say, for example, I want to watch Apple TV on that television and play Xbox on this TV. I have the Apple TV plugged in number 2. I can go and press on that. Now I have the Apple TV on this TV, Xbox on that television, but let's say I want to watch Roku over there. I have it hooked up to input number 3. I can just press it, and now Roku is on this TV, Apple TV is over there. So I hope you get the point that I'm trying to make here. I also want to point out that with this adapter, you still get capabilities of running your Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, as well as HDR10. And I want to pull up the Xbox menu so you can see that these 120 Hz televisions will support 120 Hz gaming on the Xbox. Now, if I go into the TV details, you can see everything's still selected. And if we go back into the video modes, again, we still get our 4K and we also get our variable refresh rate and auto low latency. So there's a lot of different scenarios that you can use this for. And the great thing is, if you have headphones that requires a fiber optic output, such as the Astro 50s, it gives you a lot of different flexibility. Now I want to give you this quick scenario. On this side, we have the PS5 connected to the TCL QM6K. And over there, we have the Xbox Series S connected to the TCL QM7K. Now, one thing I will tell you about the 7K, it did pick up Dolby Vision. And the great thing is, with the frame counter, you can see that both TVs are going to be able to deliver your full maximum capabilities from colors as well as sound. And you're going to be able to get the best performance going through this adapter. Now, so far, I don't notice any type of input lag, but you can see where it'd be very fun to play 2 different gaming consoles on 2 TVs in the same room. And this could be great for game night with you and your friends to be able to have a great time and get the most out of your gaming consoles. Now, in order to show the Xbox on both TVs, what I did is I just switched this over to input 4 on both TVs where the Xbox connected. And now you can see them side by side playing the Xbox. And the great thing is that, again, you can mirror the same picture. Now I'm going to take the remote control and switch them back to input 1, which is the PS5. And now the PS5 is playing on both TVs. So you can see where you can have a lot of fun. And again, both TVs is registering 120 Hz. But let's say I want to watch Apple TV on this TV and play gaming on that TV. All I can do is just press that one time. And now Justin's playing the PS5 and I can watch anything I want here on the Apple TV. So if I want to pull up my Plex server and watch some demos, you can see I can watch this with no problem whatsoever. And one thing I want to point out here is now this TV is registering 60 frames, but that TV is remaining at 120 Hz for the gaming console. So there's a lot of different scenarios that you can use here. But let's say I'm done gaming and I want to switch over to my Roku. I can then hit this source right here to input number 3. If you look over there, now we have the Roku on that TV and it will automatically switch to 60 Hz. So you can see there's a lot of different scenarios that you can use this particular adapter for. and I definitely know it's going to work out for a lot of people in different scenarios. Once it comes to eARC, I would say TV1 will not have sound, but TV2 will have sound. But if I want to use a sound bar like this TCL right here, I can press eARC right here. Now I have audio from this TV, but if I come up here to the sound bar, I can press the volume here. And keep in mind, you can still use that with the fiber optic output and the 3.5 millimeter output. And as you can see here, if I turn the volume up on the TV, the sound bar is turning up through the eARC controls. Now that I showed you how everything works, let's take a closer look at the back of the adapter. So on the back here, you have eARC here and eARC here, and this is going to be the TV1, and this eARC is going to go over to the soundbar. Now we have output 2 that goes over to your second monitor display, and then we have input 2, 3, and 4. Now over here we have the fiber optic output and 3.5 millimeter, and this output allows you to run it over to a pair of powered speakers so you can see all the different configurations that you can use it for. I didn't show you this earlier, but it does have a configuration plus a EDID, and here's a diagram that shows you how everything's connected depending on which type of device you have. In my scenario, I didn't touch anything. I left it how it came out of the box, but if you have a projector or different types of monitors, you might want to play around with these switches according to all the specs that comes in the instruction guide with the unit. All the cables that I used on this video are all HDMI 2.1 cables, and I'm going to show you roughly how I connected everything so you can see how it works. First of all, I have both of these HDMI 2.1 cables going into the back of the TVs where it's labeled 120 Hz. For TV1, which we're going to be using the eARC, I plugged it right here into output 1, and then I plugged the second TV into output 2. And this is the way you start it off. Then I plugged in a HDMI into the back of the PS5 and plugged it to input 1. But if you're going to use a soundbar, you don't want to use that. Run that directly over to your soundbar. But for demonstration purposes, we'll go ahead and plug it in right there. Next, I took the Apple TV and plugged it right here into input 2. I took the Roku and plugged it right here into input 3. And for the final step, I plugged in the Xbox Series X right here into input 4. And this is pretty much how you get everything set up. Now again, if you need a fiber optic output, you still have it on the back of the unit. And if you have a 3.5 millimeter that goes over to power speakers, you still have the output for that as well. On this video, I showed you everything that you need to know about this OREI BK-402A. In my findings, everything works very smooth, and like I said earlier, you're going to get Dolby Vision capabilities, Dolby Atmos pass-through, as well as DTS and all those different formats, so it does support pretty much everything on the market that's out there. With that being said, if you're interested to learn more about this product, I'll leave all the links in the description below. I'm Tech Steve. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.